My child, there is something your heart has been trying to tell you for a long time, but you keep drowning it out with noise, pressure, and distractions that leave you feeling emptier afterward. You have spent so much time trying to keep moving that you rarely stop long enough to ask yourself why your soul still feels restless even during quiet moments. I see how tired you are, not only physically, but deep inside where nobody else can fully reach. You carry thoughts you do not talk about. You replay conversations after everyone else has forgotten them. You question your worth more often than people realize, and sometimes you wonder whether your life is slowly drifting away from the person you were meant to become. That is why this moment matters more than you think it does. You did not stop here by accident. I know there are thousands of things competing for your attention every day, yet something inside you paused when these words appeared before you. That was not coincidence. Your spirit recognized something your mind is still trying to understand. You have been asking for direction while surrounding yourself with things that keep you spiritually exhausted. Part of you already knows you cannot continue living disconnected from peace while pretending everything is fine on the surface. I have watched you trying to hold yourself together for everyone else while quietly neglecting your own heart. You give energy to people who rarely notice how much it costs you. You keep carrying disappointment from old wounds that never healed correctly. There are memories that still affect the way you see yourself, even if you never admit it out loud. Some nights you lie awake thinking about how different life feels compared to what you once hoped it would become. I was there during every one of those moments. I never stopped seeing you, even when you felt emotionally distant from me. You do not need to impress me with perfect words or polished faith. I want honesty from you more than performance. Bring me the confusion you hide. Bring me the exhaustion you push beneath your daily routine. I already know what is weighing on you, and I am not turning away from it. The danger is not that you struggle. The danger is continuing to ignore what your soul desperately needs while convincing yourself you still have endless time to heal later. There is still purpose ahead of you, but you must stop running from the quiet truth inside your heart. You already know certain things in your life need to change. You feel it every time the distractions fade and the silence returns. Stay close to me now, because this moment may be far more important than you realize today. My child, stop pushing your own heart aside every time it tries to tell you that something is wrong. You have become skilled at surviving uncomfortable seasons without ever slowing down long enough to heal from them. You wake up, complete what needs to be done, answer people when they call, and carry responsibilities that drain your energy little by little. Yet beneath all of that, there is a quiet ache inside you that keeps returning no matter how busy you stay. I need you to pay attention to that ache instead of burying it again. Sit with me for a moment and let yourself be honest about what you have been feeling. You have spent too much time convincing yourself that you can carry everything alone. That pressure has changed you more than you realize. It has made you guarded in places where your heart used to feel open. It has made you hesitate before trusting people. Sometimes you even hesitate with me because disappointment taught you to expect silence instead of comfort. I understand why you became careful. I saw what those painful moments did to you. I watched you give your loyalty to people who slowly broke your confidence. I watched you pray for certain things that never unfolded the way you hoped. There were nights when your thoughts felt so loud that even rest became difficult for you. Still, I stayed near you through every one of those moments. And now listen carefully to me. Stop treating your exhaustion like it is normal. Stop calling emotional survival strength when your spirit is quietly starving for peace. You do not need to earn my attention by pretending you are fine. Come closer to me exactly as you are. Bring me the frustration you keep hidden behind polite conversations. Bring me the fear you rarely admit out loud. I already know what has been sitting heavily inside your chest. and I am asking you to stop carrying it alone. Open your heart instead of protecting your pain like it has become part of your identity. You are standing in a season where your choices matter deeply. Certain habits, certain voices, and certain distractions are pulling you further away from the life your soul truly needs. I'm asking you now to notice what keeps leaving you empty afterward. Pay attention to what steals your peace the fastest. Pay attention to the environments that darken your thoughts instead of strengthening your spirit. You already feel the difference inside yourself when something is leading you away from me. Come back to the quiet place where your heart can finally breathe again. Put down the pressure to appear strong every moment of the day. Let me teach you how to rest without guilt. Let me remind you who you are before fear, disappointment, and exhaustion convinced you that survival was the same thing as living. You still have time to change direction, but you must stop ignoring what your soul has been trying to say to you. My child, there are moments in your life when everything appears normal on the outside while something inside you quietly begins falling apart. You know exactly what that feels like. You have walked into rooms smiling while carrying heaviness nobody around you could see. You learned how to speak calmly even when your thoughts were restless. You became so used to hiding your struggles that sometimes you barely recognize how tired your spirit has become. I want you to stop for a moment and truly listen to yourself instead of constantly distracting your mind from what is happening within you. You keep waiting for the perfect moment to reconnect with me, but your heart has already spent too much time surviving without peace. The world around you keeps offering quick comfort, temporary escape, and endless noise, yet none of it reaches the deeper places inside you. That is why the emptiness keeps returning after the distractions fade away. Your soul was never designed to live disconnected from truth. You can feel that now more than ever. Even when you try to ignore it, there is still a quiet pull inside you asking for something real, something steady, something that will not disappear the moment life becomes difficult again. I need you to stop running from silence. Sit with me there. Let the noise settle for a while. Let your heart speak honestly without filtering everything through fear or shame. You have carried disappointment for so long that part of you expects every good thing to eventually disappear. That expectation has shaped your thinking in ways you do not always notice. It affects your hope, your relationships, even the way you see yourself. Sometimes you prepare for loss before joy even has the chance to arrive. I never wanted you to live with that kind of constant emotional tension. Listen closely now. Release the pressure to have every answer immediately. Release the fear that tells you your life is already too messy for restoration. I have not walked away from you. Even during the seasons when you stopped praying honestly, I still stayed near you. I saw every quiet battle. I saw every moment you almost gave up on yourself. I also saw the small part of you that kept hoping things could still change. So come closer now instead of drifting further into emotional exhaustion. Turn away from the habits that keep numbing your spirit. Stop feeding the thoughts that convince you nothing will ever improve. Invite me into the places you keep hidden from everyone else. Let me heal what you stopped talking about years ago. You are not too far gone to begin again, and you are not too broken to be restored. My child, you have spent too much time believing that you must quietly endure everything without letting anyone see how deeply certain things affected you. You became accustomed to carrying emotional weight in silence because somewhere along the way, you stopped expecting people to truly understand what was happening inside your heart. I know how often you replay painful moments in your mind after everyone else has moved on. I know there are conversations you still remember word for word because they changed how you see yourself. Even now, some part of you still carries disappointment from things you thought would have healed by now. I want you to stop pretending those wounds no longer matter. Bring them into the light with me instead of locking them away again. You cannot heal from pain that you refuse to acknowledge. Sit with me honestly for a moment. Look at the places where fear has slowly shaped your choices. Look at how often you expect rejection before giving people the chance to care about you properly. You became cautious because life taught you that trust can be fragile. Yet your heart was never meant to live permanently guarded like a locked room with no windows. There are moments when you feel emotionally distant from everyone around you, even while surrounded by people. That loneliness has exhausted you more than you admit. You crave connection, but you fear disappointment at the same time. So you protect yourself by staying partially hidden. You share enough to appear fine while keeping the deeper struggles buried where nobody can touch them. I see all of it clearly. I also see how tired you are becoming from carrying a version of yourself that always feels responsible for holding everything together. Come closer to me now instead of retreating further into isolation. Stop measuring your worth through how useful you are to everyone else. Stop believing that your value disappears when you are weak, uncertain, or emotionally overwhelmed. I never asked you to become emotionally numb in order to survive difficult seasons. I want your honesty more than your performance. Open your heart instead of shutting down every time life hurts you again. Pay attention to what your spirit has been trying to tell you lately. Certain environments are draining you. Certain voices keep feeding your anxiety instead of your peace. You already feel it every time you walk away from those spaces heavier than before. So choose carefully what you allow near your heart. Protect your peace without hardening your soul. Walk away from what keeps poisoning your thoughts. Release the pressure to fix everything overnight and let me guide you one step at a time. You are not abandoned, even in the moments when you feel emotionally exhausted beyond words. Stay with me here. Breathe deeply. Let your heart soften again instead of living trapped behind walls that were built from pain rather than peace. My child, this message was not placed before you by accident. Only a rare few will truly hear these words with open hearts, and I am calling those few to become part of the light that carries this healing to others still trapped in silent darkness. Every seed you sow into this mission becomes oil for lamps burning in weary souls who are close to giving up. I tell you now, cast your bread upon the waters, for after many days you will find it again, and your generosity will return to you multiplied in ways no human hand could arrange. When you gave through Super Thanks membership, or through the PayPal link waiting in the video description, you are helping my voice reach hearts crying out for peace in hidden places. Do not call your giving small, because even a single drop of oil can keep a sanctuary lit through the night. I see every act of obedience, and I will breathe favor, provision, and protection over those who move when I place compassion upon their hearts. This is your moment to help carry my word farther before more hearts grow cold from exhaustion and despair. Act now. Sow boldly. Support this mission through Super Thanks membership or PayPal in the description, and become part of the harvest I am gathering in this hour. My child, there is something you already know deep inside yourself, but you keep postponing the moment you fully face it. You can feel when something in your life is pulling you away from peace. You recognize the habits that leave your spirit emptier afterward. You notice the thoughts that grow louder whenever you are alone at night. Yet instead of confronting those things honestly, you often distract yourself long enough to avoid dealing with what is really happening inside you. I'm asking you now to stop running from those quiet moments of truth. Come sit with me for a while and listen carefully. Your soul has been carrying more exhaustion than your body can hide. You smile. You continue your routine. You answer people kindly, but inwardly you feel stretched thin. There are days when even simple responsibilities feel heavier than they should. That is because emotional exhaustion slowly changes the way you experience everything around you. It drains joy from ordinary moments. It steals hope quietly, not all at once, but little by little until you barely recognize the person you used to be. I do not want you to continue living that way. Open your heart to me instead of pushing through another day pretending you are unaffected. Tell me honestly where you feel broken. Tell me where disappointment changed you. Speak about the fears you usually hide beneath distractions. I already know them, but I want you to stop hiding from your own pain. Healing begins when you stop treating your wounds like shameful secrets. You have also allowed certain voices too much influence over your heart. Some people have spoken carelessly into your life, and their words stayed with you longer than they should have. You replay criticism more easily than kindness. You remember rejection more clearly than love. That has distorted the way you see yourself. I need you to stop building your identity around painful opinions spoken during weak moments. Those words do not define your future. Release them now. Stop carrying old labels into new seasons of your life. Let go of the belief that you are too damaged to become whole again. You are not beyond restoration. You are not too far from me. Even now, while you read these words, part of your spirit is waking up again because truth has a way of reaching places distractions cannot touch. So slow down and pay attention to what your heart has been longing for beneath all the noise. Choose honesty instead of avoidance. Choose healing instead of endless emotional survival. Invite me into the places you usually keep hidden from everyone else. I am not asking you to have everything figured out today. I am asking you to stop walking away from the peace your soul had been searching for all along. My child, you have reached a point where your heart can no longer pretend that everything is fine. For a long time, you kept telling yourself that if you stayed busy enough, strong enough, distracted enough, the heaviness inside you would eventually disappear on its own. But look at what has been happening lately. The silence feels louder. Small disappointments affect you more deeply than they once did. Certain nights feel endless because your mind refuses to rest. You carry conversations in your head long after they end, and you wonder why peace feels so difficult to hold on to. I need you to stop ignoring those signs. Your soul has been asking for help far longer than you realize. Come closer to me now instead of retreating further into emotional survival. Sit with me honestly. Put down the version of yourself you show the world and allow me to speak to the person underneath it all. I know how exhausted you are from always trying to appear composed. You became skilled at hiding pain behind ordinary routines, but hidden pain does not disappear simply because nobody else sees it. It lingers quietly. It shapes the way you think, the way you trust, the way you speak to yourself when nobody is around. You have also allowed fear to become too familiar inside your life. Fear of disappointment, fear of rejection, fear that things will never truly change for you. That fear has been influencing your choices more than you admit. Sometimes you pull away from opportunities before they even begin because part of you already expects failure. Other times you settle for less than your heart truly needs because disappointment taught you not to hope too much. I want you to recognize what fear has stolen from you. Then release it. Open your hands instead of gripping old pain so tightly. Listen carefully now. Stop feeding your spirit with things that leave you drained afterward. Pay attention to what darkens your thoughts. Pay attention to who constantly leaves you emotionally exhausted. Not every voice deserves access to your heart. Protect your peace wisely. Walk away from what keeps pulling you into confusion. Turn off the noise for a while and let yourself breathe again. I am not asking you to fix your entire life in one moment. I am asking you to stop resisting the truth your heart already feels. You know there are areas of your life that need healing. You know there are habits slowly damaging your peace. So stop delaying the conversation your soul has been trying to have with you. Invite me into those hidden places instead of carrying everything alone. You still have time to change direction, my child. Do not wait until emotional exhaustion hardens your heart completely. Come back now while your spirit still recognizes my voice calling you toward peace instead of deeper emptiness. My child, there are wounds inside you that you stopped talking about because you became tired of explaining pain that other people could not fully understand. Some hurts changed the way you see yourself so gradually that you barely noticed it happening. You became more cautious, more guarded, more hesitant to trust your own heart. There were moments when disappointment entered your life like a storm, quick and sharp, and after enough of those moments, part of you quietly decided it was safer not to expect too much from anyone anymore. I saw every part of that change happen inside you. I know you still carry certain memories into quiet moments of your life. They return unexpectedly while you are driving, lying awake at night, or sitting alone with your thoughts. Sometimes you revisit old conversations and wonder if you should have said something differently. Sometimes you replay painful seasons and blame yourself for things that were never fully your fault. I need you to stop punishing yourself for every broken thing that happened around you. Your heart was not designed to carry endless guilt like heavy chains wrapped around your spirit day after day. Come sit with me honestly now. Stop hiding behind emotional walls that are exhausting you. You built those walls because you were trying to protect yourself, but they are also keeping peace, healing, and closeness from fully reaching your heart. Open the door instead of standing guard over old pain forever. Let me into the places you keep covering with distractions, overthinking, and silence. You also need to hear this clearly. Not everyone who walked away from your life was meant to stay in your future. Some people were lessons, not lifelong assignments. Some departures protected you more than you realize today. I know rejection hurt you deeply. I know betrayal left scars that still ache when certain memories return. Still, do not let those experiences convince you that you are difficult to love or impossible to understand. That is not the truth about you. Look at how much you have survived already. You are still here after nights that nearly broke you emotionally. You kept moving through seasons where your strength felt paper thin. Even now, there is still tenderness inside your heart despite everything that tried to harden it. Do not lose that tenderness. Protect it carefully because it matters more than you know. Now breathe deeply and listen to me closely. Stop treating yourself like someone beyond healing. Stop speaking over your own life with hopelessness every time things feel difficult. Invite peace back into your thinking. Release bitterness before it grows roots inside your spirit. Choose honesty over avoidance. Choose healing over emotional numbness. I am still here beside you, and your story is not ending in this place of exhaustion. My child, you have been carrying emotional weight for so long that you barely remember what it feels like to wake up without heaviness already waiting for you. Some mornings begin before your feet even touch the floor. Your mind starts racing immediately. You think about responsibilities, unfinished problems, strained relationships, financial pressure, regrets, and fears about the future all at once. You keep telling yourself to stay strong, but underneath that determination, your spirit feels worn thin. I need you to stop for a moment and admit how tired you really are instead of forcing yourself through another day pretending you are unaffected. Come closer to me now. Sit quietly with me and let the noise settle. You do not always need to have answers ready. You do not need to carry every burden by yourself while smiling so nobody notices the cracks forming inside you. I see those cracks clearly. I see the moments when discouragement quietly enters your thoughts and convinces you that nothing will truly improve. I see the way disappointment keeps whispering to you after another difficult day. Yet even now, your heart still longs for peace. That longing inside you is important. Do not ignore it. You have spent too much time feeding your mind with fear while starving your spirit of rest. Listen carefully to what I am telling you. Step away from what constantly drains you. Turn off the voices that leave you anxious every time you hear them. Walk away from conversations that poison your hope. Guard your heart wisely, because not every environment deserves access to your peace. Some people speak confusion into your life so often that you no longer recognize how deeply their words affect your thinking afterward. I also want you to stop blaming yourself for every storm you face. Not every painful season means you failed. Sometimes life wounded you while you were simply trying your best to survive difficult circumstances. You became harsh with yourself because you thought criticism would somehow make you stronger. Instead, it only made you lonelier inside your own mind. Speak to yourself differently now. Treat your heart with the same patience you offer everyone else. Breathe slowly for a moment and stay here with me. Let your shoulders relax. Let your thoughts quiet down instead of spiraling endlessly through fear and overthinking. Invite peace into your mind even if it feels unfamiliar at first. I am not asking you to become fearless overnight. I am asking you to stop surrendering your inner peace to every anxious thought that enters your mind. You still have time to rebuild what exhaustion has been tearing apart inside you. Do not keep walking through life emotionally numb while hoping things magically improve someday. Open your heart now. Let me steady you again before stress and sadness harden places within you that were never meant to live without peace. My child, you are not listening to these words by coincidence, because there is still one chance left for many weary hearts to hear my voice before hopelessness hardens them completely. I am raising messengers who will pour living water into dry places, and your support helps this river continue flowing to souls silently drowning in fear and exhaustion. Remember what I spoke: give, and it will be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over, because heaven still honors those who sow with willing hearts. Every super thanks, every membership, and every gift through the PayPal link in the video description becomes fuel for this fire of encouragement reaching people who cry alone at night. Do not underestimate the weight of your obedience in this moment, because one act of generosity can open the door for someone else to encounter peace they thought was gone forever. I will not overlook the hands that help carry my word into places darkness has tried to claim. I am calling you now to move beyond hesitation and partner with what I am doing through this message. Support this mission today through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal in the description, and let your seed become part of a harvest of healing souls. My child, there are parts of your story that still hurt when you revisit them, even if years have passed since those moments happened. Certain disappointments stayed with you longer than you expected. Certain betrayals changed the way you trusted people. You rarely speak about those things openly anymore because you became tired of explaining pain that others could not fully understand. Instead, you learned how to carry it quietly. You kept functioning. You kept showing up for life. But hidden pain does not disappear simply because you become skilled at surviving with it. I want you to stop running from those deeper emotions now. Sit with me honestly instead of distracting yourself every time difficult memories surface. Your heart needs healing, not endless avoidance. There are moments when you still question your worth because of how people treated you during vulnerable seasons of your life. You wonder whether you were too much, not enough, too broken, too emotional, or too difficult to love properly. Listen carefully to me. The way someone failed you does not define your value. Do not keep building your identity around rejection that came from wounded people who could not carry the responsibility of loving you well. You also need to release the pressure to constantly prove yourself. So much of your exhaustion comes from trying to earn validation from people who were never capable of giving you lasting peace. You overextend yourself, overthink every mistake, and push your own heart beyond healthy limits because part of you fears being unwanted or forgotten. I never created you to live trapped inside that cycle. Come closer to me and let me remind you who you are beyond fear, performance, and emotional survival. Pay attention to your inner life now. Notice how certain habits leave you emptier afterward. Notice how some distractions only silence your pain temporarily before loneliness returns stronger than before. Your soul has been trying to tell you that it needs something deeper than temporary escape. Stop numbing your spirit with things that cannot heal you. Turn toward what brings life back into your heart instead. I know there are nights when you feel emotionally drained beyond words. I know there are moments when hope feels fragile inside you. Still, do not close your heart completely. Do not let disappointment convince you that healing is impossible. Open your hands and release what you cannot control anymore. Stop carrying bitterness into every new chapter of your life. Invite peace back into places where fear has lived too long. Speak honestly with me instead of hiding behind polished words and forced strength. Let your heart rest for a while. You do not need to keep fighting every battle alone, and you do not need to become emotionally numb just to survive another difficult season. My child, you have been trying to carry tomorrow's worries with today's strength, and that pressure has been slowly draining the life out of your spirit. You think constantly about what could go wrong. You prepare yourself for disappointment before anything even happens because part of you believes it is safer not to expect peace anymore. I see how often your mind races ahead into fear while your heart quietly begs for rest. Even when you sit still, your thoughts keep moving like waves during a stormy night, pulling you deeper into exhaustion. I need you to stop for a moment and recognize what this constant tension is doing to you. Come sit with me now. Put down the need to solve everything immediately. You were never meant to carry every outcome alone. Some burdens became too heavy because you picked them up without realizing how deeply they would affect your soul over time. You keep replaying problems in your mind as though overthinking can somehow protect you from pain, but all it has done is steal your peace little by little. Listen carefully to me. Stop feeding anxious thoughts every hour of the day. Step away from the voices, habits, and endless noise that keep your spirit unsettled. You also need to stop measuring your future through the lens of your past disappointments. Not every season ahead of you will mirror the pain behind you. I know certain heartbreaks shook your confidence deeply. I know failure embarrassed you. I know rejection made you question your worth in ways you never expected. Still, your story did not end there. Do not build your future around old wounds that were meant to heal, not define you forever. Breathe slowly now and allow yourself to feel my presence instead of rushing through another day emotionally overwhelmed. Open your hands and release what you cannot control tonight. You are exhausting yourself trying to predict outcomes that have not even arrived. Trust me enough to stop carrying fear like it is your responsibility to hold everything together perfectly. You were not created to live every day trapped inside emotional survival mode. Look honestly at what hath been stealing your peace recently. Certain conversations leave you drained. Certain habits darken your thoughts. Certain people pull you deeper into anxiety instead of helping your spirit breathe again. Notice those patterns and make different choices. Protect your heart carefully because your inner peace matters more than you realize. Now stay here with me instead of running back toward distraction the moment silence begins. Let your mind rest for a while. Let your soul breathe again. I am still guiding you even during seasons when you feel uncertain, and you do not need to keep living beneath the crushing weight of fear every single day. My child, there are moments when your heart becomes so tired that even hope starts feeling heavy. You continue moving through your responsibilities, speaking kindly to people, handling what needs to be handled, yet inwardly you feel disconnected from joy in ways you cannot fully explain. I know you miss the version of yourself that once felt lighter, more hopeful, more emotionally alive. Somewhere between disappointment, pressure, heartbreak, and exhaustion, part of you slowly stopped expecting good things to last. That quiet change inside you matters more than you think. I want you to stop ignoring your emotional wounds and pretending they no longer affect your daily life. Hidden pain has a way of shaping your thoughts without permission. It changes how you trust people. It changes how you see yourself. Sometimes it even changes how you hear my voice because disappointment convinces you to expect distance instead of comfort. Come closer to me now and let me speak gently into those wounded places instead of covering them with endless distraction. You have also become far too hard on yourself. You criticize yourself for being tired. You blame yourself for struggling. You replay mistakes from years ago as though punishing yourself long enough will somehow rewrite the past. Listen carefully to me. Stop speaking to yourself with cruelty every time life feels difficult. Your heart cannot heal while your thoughts constantly tear you apart from within. Show yourself mercy. Give yourself room to breathe again. There are people around you who do not fully understand how much emotional weight you carry quietly. That loneliness has followed you into places where peace should exist. You often feel responsible for staying strong so nobody worries about you, but strength without rest eventually becomes exhaustion. Sit with me honestly now. Remove the mask for a moment. You do not need polished words with me. Tell me what hurts. Tell me what scares you. Tell me where you feel lost instead of pretending you already know the way forward. I also need you to release the belief that healing must happen instantly or not at all. Real healing often moves quietly, slowly, deeply. It unfolds layer by layer inside your spirit. Stop rushing your own restoration. Stay present with me instead of escaping into numbness every time difficult emotions rise to the surface. Tonight, choose peace intentionally. Turn away from what keeps poisoning your thoughts. Guard your spirit carefully. Open your heart instead of closing it tighter every time life disappoints you. You still have softness inside you despite everything that tried to harden your soul, and I do not want you to lose that part of yourself. My child, you have spent so much time trying to stay emotionally functional that you barely notice how disconnected you have become from your own heart. You move through your routines automatically now. You answer messages, complete responsibilities, speak to people, and keep life moving forward. Yet there are moments when everything around you feels strangely distant. I see how often you stare into silence after long days, wondering why your spirit still feels unsettled even when nothing dramatic is happening around you. That emptiness did not appear overnight. It grew slowly through exhaustion, disappointment, pressure, and quiet loneliness that you rarely allow yourself to fully acknowledge. I want you to stop brushing past your inner life as though it does not matter. Sit with me honestly for a moment. Turn down the noise around you and pay attention to what your soul has been trying to say. You keep searching for peace while staying connected to things that continually steal it from you. Certain habits leave your spirit drained afterward. Certain voices feed fear into your thinking. Certain environments darken your mood every time you step into them. You already recognize this deep down, but you keep tolerating what is damaging your peace because part of you fears change more than exhaustion. Listen carefully to me now. Stop accepting emotional survival as though it is the same thing as living fully. You were not created merely to endure one stressful day after another until your heart becomes numb. You were created to experience peace, closeness, purpose, and rest within your spirit. Come closer to me and allow yourself to breathe again instead of carrying tension every hour of the day. Release the pressure to constantly hold yourself together without help. You also need to stop believing every fearful thought that enters your mind. Not every anxious voice deserves your agreement. Sometimes your exhaustion speaks louder than truth. Sometimes your pain convinces you that nothing will improve even while healing quietly begins beneath the surface. Do not surrender your future to hopeless thinking. Guard your thoughts carefully. Speak life over yourself instead of repeating inner criticism until it becomes your identity. Now take a deep breath and stay here with me for a little while longer. Put down your defenses. Stop pretending you are unaffected by what has hurt you. Open your heart honestly instead of carrying everything alone behind closed doors. I am not disappointed in your weakness. I am asking you to stop hiding inside it. Let me strengthen the weary places within you before emotional exhaustion hardens your spirit beyond what you were ever meant to carry. There is still softness inside your heart despite everything that tried to destroy it. Protect that softness. Nurture it. Do not lose yourself completely to fear, pressure, and endless emotional noise. My child, there are still countless hearts wandering through emotional numbness, waiting for one message filled with my presence to awaken hope inside them again. This is why I am asking you not to scroll away from this moment carelessly, because your support can help carry this light into homes filled with silent battles and hidden tears. I have said, whoever refreshes others will themselves be refreshed, and heaven watches every willing heart that chooses to strengthen weary souls instead of ignoring their pain. When you give through Super Thanks, become a member, or sow through the PayPal link in the video description, you are placing fresh oil into vessels that continue spreading my comfort across the earth. Your generosity becomes seed planted beside deep waters, and I will cause it to grow in seasons where you least expect increase. This is not merely support for a channel. This is participation in a living mission reaching people moments before despair convinces them to give up completely. I am calling rare hearts in this hour to rise and help sustain the flow of encouragement, healing, and truth. Do not delay what I am placing upon your spirit. Support this work now through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal in the description, and let your obedience become part of someone else's restoration. My child, there are days when you feel like nobody truly sees how much effort it takes for you just to keep moving forward. People see your responsibilities being handled. They see your smile in conversations. They see the surface version of your life. But they do not see the emotional storms you quietly battle within yourself. I see them clearly. I see how tired your thoughts become late at night when distractions fade away, and silence finally forces you to confront what is really happening inside your heart. You have carried disappointment for so long that part of you expects life to hurt you eventually, no matter how good something seems at first. That expectation has shaped the way you approach relationships, opportunities, and even your future. Sometimes you pull away emotionally before anyone has the chance to get too close because losing people hurt you deeply in the past. Other times you overextend yourself trying to earn love, approval, or reassurance because you secretly fear becoming forgettable to others. I need you to stop living from those wounded places. Come sit with me honestly now. Stop distracting yourself every time painful emotions begin rising to the surface. Your healing cannot continue while you constantly avoid what your spirit needs to process. I know there are memories you still revisit quietly. I know certain words spoken over your life continue echoing inside your mind years later. Some people planted doubt in you during vulnerable seasons, and those doubts still affect the way you see yourself today. Release those voices. They were never meant to define who you are. You also need to stop punishing yourself for not healing faster. Emotional wounds do not disappear simply because you tell yourself to move on. Some pain requires patience, honesty, and gentleness before restoration begins unfolding deeply inside your spirit. Give yourself permission to breathe without guilt. Give yourself permission to rest without feeling lazy or weak. You have carried heavy emotional loads for far too long. Now listen closely to me. Protect your heart from becoming bitter. Pain can either deepen your compassion or slowly harden your soul depending on what you choose to do with it. Do not allow disappointment to turn you cold toward life. Stay tender. Stay honest. Stay open to healing even when trust feels difficult. I know vulnerability scares you now, but isolation will never heal the loneliness your spirit carries. Invite me deeper into your life instead of keeping me at the edge of your thoughts. Speak honestly with me. Bring me the fears you usually hide. Bring me the exhaustion you rarely admit. I am not turning away from your broken places. I am asking you to stop turning away from them yourself. My child, you have become so familiar with carrying emotional tension that peace almost feels unfamiliar to you now. Your mind rarely rests completely. Even during quiet moments, your thoughts continue searching for problems, replaying disappointments, or preparing for things that have not even happened yet. I see how exhausting that has become for you. You were never created to live every day with your spirit stretched tight like a rope pulled in opposite directions. Yet this is what fear slowly does when you allow it to remain inside your heart too long. I need you to pause and look honestly at what has been shaping your inner world lately. Notice how quickly anxiety enters your thoughts. Notice how often you expect disappointment before giving life a chance to surprise you with goodness again. Some part of you became convinced that preparing for pain will somehow protect you from being hurt. But instead of protecting you, it has slowly stolen your ability to rest emotionally. You carry invisible pressure everywhere you go. People may not notice it immediately, but you feel it every day. Come closer to me now instead of carrying that burden another hour alone. Sit with me quietly and let your breathing slow down. Release the need to control every outcome. Release the pressure to understand everything immediately. You are exhausting yourself trying to predict tomorrow while barely allowing yourself to live peacefully today. Trust me enough to loosen your grip on the fears that keep tightening around your heart. You also need to stop feeding your spirit with endless noise. Too many voices are speaking into your life right now. Opinions, negativity, comparison, pressure, criticism, distraction. Your mind has become crowded, and crowded minds struggle to hear peace clearly. Step away from what keeps darkening your thoughts. Protect your inner life carefully. Not every conversation deserves your emotional energy. Not every voice deserves space in your spirit. I know you feel tired in ways that are difficult to explain to others. Some exhaustion comes from carrying emotional wounds for too long without proper healing. Some comes from pretending you are stronger than you truly feel. Stop forcing yourself to survive another day while quietly breaking inside. Open your heart honestly instead. Speak to me about what scares you. Speak to me about the future you worry about when nobody else is listening. I already know those fears, but I want you to stop hiding inside them. Now breathe deeply again and stay here with me for a little while longer. Let your thoughts settle instead of racing endlessly toward worst-case scenarios. Choose peace intentionally today. Turn away from fear-driven thinking before it steals more of your joy. Your spirit still remembers what peace feels like, even after all the noise. Let me guide you back toward it. My child, there are moments when loneliness affects you more deeply than you admit to anyone around you. You can sit in crowded rooms and still feel emotionally unseen. You can have conversations throughout the day while secretly carrying thoughts you never fully share with anyone. I know how often you tell yourself to stay strong instead of admitting how much certain things hurt you. You became accustomed to carrying emotional burdens privately because somewhere along the way, you stopped expecting people to truly understand what your heart has been going through. I see the way disappointment changed your trust. I see how betrayal made you more careful with your emotions. Some experiences taught you to guard your heart so tightly that now even peace struggles to enter fully. You protect yourself before anyone has the chance to hurt you again. But those walls are also keeping healing at a distance. Come sit with me honestly now. Stop pretending those walls are making you stronger when they are quietly exhausting your spirit. You do not need to earn love by overextending yourself constantly. You do not need to prove your worth by carrying everyone else while neglecting your own heart. So much of your exhaustion comes from trying to be everything for everyone while quietly feeling empty inside. I never asked you to sacrifice your emotional well-being just to keep other people comfortable. Listen carefully to me. Rest is not weakness. Honesty is not failure. Needing comfort does not make you less valuable. I also want you to stop measuring your life through comparison. Comparison hath been stealing joy from you silently. You look at other people and wonder why their lives appear lighter, easier, more successful, more peaceful. Yet you do not see the full story behind what others carry privately. Your path is different for a reason. Stop punishing yourself because your journey unfolded differently than expected. Now invite me deeper into the hidden places within your heart. Bring me the loneliness you rarely talk about. Bring me the fears that visit you late at night. Bring me the exhaustion you cover with routines and responsibilities every single day. I am not asking you to hide your struggles behind polished words and forced smiles. I am asking you to let yourself be fully known instead of emotionally isolated. Stay here with me for a moment longer and let your spirit breathe again. Release the belief that you must carry every emotional burden by yourself forever. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. Even now, while you read these words, your heart is being reminded that peace is still possible for you if you stop running from the deeper healing your soul has needed for such a long time. My child, you have been carrying silent battles for so long that part of you forgot what emotional safety even feels like. You wake up already bracing yourself for stress before the day has fully begun. Your thoughts move quickly from one concern to another, and even when your surroundings become quiet, your mind often refuses to slow down. I see how draining that has become for you. You have spent too much time surviving emotionally instead of truly living with peace inside your spirit. Come sit with me honestly for a moment and stop pretending that you are unaffected by everything you have been carrying. You have learned how to hide exhaustion behind routines, responsibilities, and polite conversations, but hidden pain still weighs on your heart even when nobody else notices it. There are nights when your thoughts feel louder than the entire world around you. You replay mistakes. You revisit painful memories. You imagine worst-case scenarios before tomorrow even arrives. I need you to stop feeding your spirit with constant fear and overthinking. Listen carefully now. Your life cannot heal while your mind stays trapped inside endless emotional noise. Turn away from the habits that keep draining your peace. Step back from the voices that constantly pull you deeper into anxiety and confusion. Protect your inner world more carefully. Not everything deserves your emotional energy. Some conversations leave your spirit exhausted because they pull you away from clarity and deeper into heaviness. You already feel the difference inside yourself when something poisons your peace. I also want you to stop carrying guilt that no longer belongs to your future. You continue punishing yourself for moments I already wanted to heal within you. You think constantly about what you should have done differently, but your heart was never meant to live chained to old regret forever. Release it now. Open your hands instead of gripping shame so tightly that it becomes part of your identity. I am not asking you to ignore your past. I am asking you to stop living trapped inside it. Now breathe slowly and stay with me here. Let your shoulders relax for a moment. Let your thoughts settle instead of racing toward fear again. Invite peace into your spirit intentionally. Speak honestly with me instead of hiding behind strength you no longer have energy to maintain. You do not need polished words. You do not need perfect faith. You need honesty, closeness, rest, and healing. There is still softness within your heart despite everything that tried to harden you. Do not lose that softness. Guard it carefully because your tenderness matters more than you know. Stay near me now, my child, and let me remind your weary soul that peace is still possible for you. My child, there are souls listening right now whose hearts are hanging by a thread, and this message reached them because I refused to leave them alone in their darkness. Only a rare few will recognize the urgency of this moment and respond with open hands instead of passive hearts. I tell you again, the generous soul will prosper, and whoever waters others will themselves be watered, because my kingdom still multiplies every seed sown with compassion and faith. When you support through Super Thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link in the video description, you help carry rivers of peace into lives consumed by anxiety, regret, and emotional exhaustion. Your giving becomes fire in places where hope was almost extinguished. I see every sacrifice made to keep my word moving forward, and I will surround faithful givers with favor, wisdom, provision, and unexpected doors of blessing. This is not the hour to remain distant while weary hearts are crying out for truth and healing. Move now. Support this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal in the description, and become part of the light I am sending into the darkness before the door closes on this moment. My child, there are moments when you feel emotionally stuck between who you used to be and who you are trying to become. You can sense that something inside you needs to change, yet part of you feels afraid to fully let go of old patterns, old fears, and old ways of coping with pain. I understand that struggle more than you realize. Healing often feels unfamiliar at first because you became accustomed to surviving inside emotional chaos for so long. Peace can feel strange when your heart has spent years preparing itself for disappointment instead. I want you to stop running back toward what keeps hurting your spirit simply because it feels familiar. Some habits in your life were born from pain, not peace. Some choices became comfort zones during lonely seasons, but now they are quietly draining your heart instead of protecting it. Look honestly at what leaves you feeling empty afterward. Notice what steals your peace the fastest. Pay attention to the thoughts that grow louder after certain conversations, certain environments, or certain distractions enter your life. Your spirit has been warning you quietly for a long time. Come closer to me now and allow yourself to be honest without fear. Stop hiding your exhaustion behind forced strength. Stop pretending your heart is unaffected by everything it has endured. You have carried sadness into places where joy should have existed. You have carried anxiety into moments that were meant for rest. You have carried loneliness even while surrounded by people who thought you were doing fine. I saw every hidden battle, every silent tear, every moment when your thoughts became heavier than your smile could hide. And now listen carefully to what I am telling you. Release the pressure to fix yourself through constant striving. You do not heal by becoming emotionally numb. You heal by allowing truth, honesty, rest, and peace to slowly reach the places within you that pain once occupied. Sit quietly with me instead of escaping into distraction every time your emotions begin surfacing. Let your soul breathe again. You also need to forgive yourself for not being able to carry everything perfectly. You became too harsh with your own heart. You speak to yourself in ways you would never speak to someone you love deeply. Stop tearing yourself apart every time you struggle. Show yourself mercy. Healing grows better in gentleness and in shame. Stay here with me now instead of rushing back into noise and emotional pressure. Let me steady your thoughts before fear pulls you deeper into exhaustion again. Your life is not beyond restoration. Your heart is not too damaged to feel peace again. You are still being called toward healing, even now. My child, you have been carrying emotional bruises for so long that part of you stopped expecting life to feel peaceful again. You move through your days handling responsibilities, answering people, completing tasks, and trying to appear steady. But underneath all of that, your spirit feels tired in ways words rarely explain properly. I know there are moments when you feel disconnected even from yourself. You sit quietly and wonder why your heart still feels unsettled after everything you have already survived. You thought time alone would heal certain wounds, yet some pain stayed hidden beneath the surface, shaping your thoughts little by little without you fully noticing. Come closer to me now, and stop pretending your heart is unaffected by what it has endured. Sit honestly with me for a moment instead of distracting yourself again. You keep trying to silence emotional pain with temporary comfort, but temporary comfort cannot heal what your soul truly needs restored. Pay attention to the emptiness that keeps returning after the distractions fade away. That emptiness is not weakness. It is your spirit asking for deeper healing. You have also become too familiar with disappointment. Certain losses changed your thinking more than you realize. You hesitate before trusting people fully. You prepare yourself emotionally for rejection before relationships even deepen. Sometimes you expect things to fall apart because part of you believes peace never stays long anyway. I need you to release that fear before it hardens your heart completely. Stop building emotional walls around pain that was never meant to become your permanent home. Listen carefully now. Turn away from what continually poisons your peace. Certain conversations leave you anxious long afterward. Certain environments cloud your spirit every time you step into them. Certain habits drain life from your heart little by little. You already recognize these things deep inside yourself. Stop ignoring what your spirit has been warning you about. Protect your inner life carefully because your peace matters more than endless distraction. I also want you to stop carrying shame that no longer belongs in your future. You replay mistakes repeatedly as though condemning yourself harder will somehow fix the past. It will not. Your heart cannot heal while your thoughts continue attacking you from within. Show yourself mercy. Speak gently to your own soul instead of constantly tearing yourself apart. Now breathe deeply and remain here with me for a little while longer. Let your mind slow down. Let your spirit rest instead of preparing for another emotional battle before one has even arrived. Invite peace into the weary places inside you. Open your heart honestly and let me remind you that your story is not over simply because you became tired along the way. My child, there are hidden parts of your heart that you rarely allow anyone to see anymore because disappointment taught you to protect yourself before people have the chance to hurt you again. I understand why you became cautious. I saw what betrayal did to your trust. I saw the moments when someone's words stayed in your mind far longer than they should have. Some experiences affected you so deeply that now even kindness feels difficult to believe completely. You smile through conversations while quietly wondering whether people would still stay if they truly knew how heavy your thoughts sometimes become. Come sit with me honestly now instead of carrying those fears alone another day. Stop hiding behind emotional distance. You do not need to protect every broken place inside your heart from me. I already see the exhaustion you carry beneath your routines. I know how often you overthink simple things because your spirit has been living in survival mode for too long. There are nights when your thoughts become loud enough to steal rest from you completely. You revisit old mistakes. You replay painful memories. You question your worth in ways nobody around you fully understands. Listen carefully to what I am telling you. Stop measuring your value through how others treated you during their own broken seasons. Rejection can wound deeply, but it does not define who you are. Some people walked away because they were unable to carry the responsibility of loving you properly. Some relationships ended because they could not follow you into the future I still have prepared for you. Release the belief that every ending means you were unworthy of staying for. I also need you to stop abandoning yourself emotionally just to keep peace with everyone else. You silence your own needs too often. You push your exhaustion aside too quickly. You carry everyone else while quietly neglecting your own spirit. That pattern is draining life from your heart little by little. Sit with me and let yourself rest instead of constantly performing strength for the people around you. Now take a deep breath and pay attention to your spirit again. Turn away from what leaves you emotionally numb afterward. Walk away from voices that constantly deepen your fear, insecurity, and exhaustion. Invite peace back into your thinking. Let your heart soften again instead of becoming colder every time life disappoints you. Stay close to me now, my child. Speak honestly with me about the fears you usually hide beneath silence. You are not too broken to heal. You are not too exhausted to begin again. Your heart still carries tenderness beneath all the pain, and I do not want you to lose that part of yourself. My child, there is a part of you that has been quietly hoping someone would finally notice how exhausted you really are. You have become so accustomed to carrying emotional pressure that now you instinctively hide it behind routines, responsibilities, and forced composure. People around you may see functionality, but I see the fatigue sitting beneath your smile. I see how often your thoughts become heavy when the day slows down. I know there are moments when your spirit feels stretched thin, almost like a thread pulled tighter and tighter until it begins trembling under the pressure. You were never meant to live every day carrying that kind of invisible weight alone. Come closer to me now and stop pretending your heart is unaffected by everything it has endured. Sit honestly with me instead of rushing toward another distraction. You keep trying to silence inner exhaustion with temporary comfort, but temporary comfort cannot restore a weary soul. It only delays the deeper healing your spirit has been asking for. Listen carefully to what your heart has been trying to tell you lately. Certain habits are draining you. Certain environments leave you emotionally heavy every time you step into them. Certain people speak into your life in ways that quietly steal your peace afterward. Stop ignoring what your spirit already recognizes. You also need to stop carrying emotional responsibility for everything around you. You blame yourself too quickly when relationships become strained. You replay mistakes repeatedly as though overthinking them enough will somehow rewrite the past. You try to fix things that were never fully yours to carry. That constant pressure has exhausted your mind and hardened parts of your heart without you even noticing. Release that burden now. Open your hands instead of gripping fear, guilt, and regret so tightly. I want you to rest for a moment without feeling guilty about it. Sit quietly with me. Breathe deeply. Let your thoughts slow down instead of racing endlessly through anxiety and worst-case scenarios. You do not need to have every answer tonight. You do not need to carry tomorrow before it arrives. Trust me enough to loosen your grip on what you cannot control. And now guard your spirit carefully. Turn away from voices that constantly deepen your confusion. Step back from endless noise and comparison before they drain more life from your soul. Choose environments that bring clarity instead of emotional chaos. Protect your peace like something precious, because it truly is. Stay here with me now, my child. Let me steady the weary places inside you before exhaustion convinces you that numbness is normal. Your heart still remembers peace even after all it has carried, and I am calling you back toward it now. My child, the exhaustion so many carry in silence is deeper than the world realizes, and I am calling rare hearts to help spread this message before more souls surrender to hopelessness and emotional numbness. This is your divine appointment, not an accident, because I have allowed you to hear these words at the exact moment your obedience can become part of someone else's rescue. I said, "Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy," and every act of generosity offered with sincerity rises before me like a fragrant offering. When you give through Super Thanks, join as a member, or sow through the PayPal link in the video description, you are helping this living stream of encouragement continue reaching broken hearts across the earth. Your seed becomes manna for weary spirits, light for hidden valleys, and oil for lamps struggling to stay lit through long nights of fear and discouragement. I will remember those who choose to strengthen this mission, and I will breathe peace, protection, and multiplication back into the areas where they once felt depleted. Do not ignore the stirring you feel inside you right now, because hesitation can cause people to miss moments heaven prepared specifically for them. Act immediately. Support this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal in the description, and help carry my word to the souls still waiting to hear that peace is possible again. My child, you have spent so much time trying to survive emotionally that you barely remember what it feels like to truly rest inside your own spirit. Even when your body becomes still, your thoughts continue moving like restless waves that never fully settle. I know how often you lie awake replaying conversations, imagining future problems, or carrying fears you never speak aloud to anyone. You became skilled at functioning while internally exhausted, but I need you to stop treating that exhaustion like it is simply part of who you are now. Come sit with me honestly for a while and stop running from silence. Silence has become uncomfortable for you because it exposes what distraction keeps hidden. When the noise fades away, you are forced to face the loneliness, sadness, pressure, and disappointment sitting quietly beneath the surface. Yet avoiding those emotions has not healed them. It has only buried them deeper inside your heart. I want you to let those hidden places breathe again instead of keeping them locked away behind forced strength. You have also allowed fear to shape your expectations too often. Part of you prepares for loss before joy even arrives. You hesitate to fully trust peace because disappointment wounded you deeply in the past. I understand why your heart became cautious, but do not let caution solely turn into emotional isolation. Your soul was never created to live behind walls built from fear. Open your heart again little by little instead of protecting your pain like it has become your identity. Listen carefully now. Stop speaking hopelessness over your future every time life feels uncertain. Your difficult seasons are not permanent definitions of who you are becoming. Some storms entered your life to shape you, not destroy you. Some delays protected you from paths that would have drained your spirit even further. Trust that I still see what you cannot fully understand yet. Now release the pressure to carry everything perfectly. Rest your mind for a while. Put down the endless self-criticism. You speak to yourself with harshness far too often, and your spirit grows weary under the weight of those thoughts. Speak gently to your own heart instead. Show yourself patience while healing unfolds. Stay near me now instead of retreating into numbness and distraction again. Invite peace back into your thoughts intentionally. Walk away from what continually steals life from your spirit. Choose honesty over emotional hiding. Choose healing over endless survival. You are not too exhausted to begin again, my child, and you are not too far from peace to find your way back toward it. My child, there are times when your heart feels crowded with thoughts that never seem to rest. You carry conversations long after they end. You replay mistakes repeatedly in your mind. You imagine future disappointments before tomorrow even arrives. I see how exhausting that has become for you. Your spirit has been living under pressure for so long that peace almost feels unfamiliar now. Even during moments when nothing is outwardly wrong, there is still tension sitting quietly inside you, waiting to rise again the moment your mind slows down. Come sit with me now and stop trying to outrun your own soul. You have spent too much time distracting yourself from deeper emotions instead of allowing healing to reach them. The constant noise around you has made it difficult for you to hear what your heart actually needs. Turn away from the endless pressure for a moment. Put your phone down. Step back from the voices demanding your attention. Let silence settle around you without immediately trying to escape it. Your spirit has been craving stillness more than you realize. You also need to stop carrying emotional burdens that were never yours to hold forever. You blame yourself for things beyond your control. You feel responsible for outcomes you could not change. Sometimes you carry guilt simply because you wish things had turned out differently. Listen carefully to me now. Regret cannot heal your past. Endless self-punishment cannot restore what already happened. Release those heavy thoughts before they harden into hopelessness inside your heart. I know you have felt disappointed by people. I know you have trusted others only to feel forgotten later. Some words spoken over your life wounded you deeply, and now those voices echo inside your mind during vulnerable moments. Stop agreeing with every painful thing said about you. Stop allowing rejection to shape your identity. Other people's inability to love you correctly does not determine your worth. Now breathe slowly and stay here with me instead of rushing back into distraction again. Let your thoughts quiet down little by little. Invite peace into the places where fear had been living for too long. Speak honestly with me about what has been weighing on your spirit. You do not need polished prayers or perfect faith. I want honesty from you more than performance. Protect your heart carefully moving forward. Walk away from environments that continually leave you emotionally drained. Turn away from habits that numb your spirit instead of healing it. Choose peace intentionally even when chaos feels more familiar. Your soul is tired, my child, but tired hearts can still heal when they finally stop running from the rest they truly need. My child, you have spent so much time trying to appear emotionally steady that very few people realize how deeply certain things affected you. There are wounds you rarely speak about anymore because explaining them became exhausting. Some disappointments changed your confidence quietly. Some betrayals affected the way you trust people now. You smile through conversations while carrying thoughts that nobody around you fully sees. I know how lonely that can feel. I know what it is like for you to sit awake at night wondering whether anyone truly understands the weight inside your heart. Come closer to me now instead of carrying those hidden battles alone another day. Sit honestly with me for a while. Stop pretending your pain no longer matters simply because time has passed. Certain hurts stayed with you because your heart never fully processed them. You pushed yourself to move forward quickly while carrying emotional wounds that still needed care and healing. That unfinished pain continues affecting the way you think about yourself even now. I need you to stop treating your heart harshly every time you struggle. You became your own hardest critic. You replay failures more than victories. You notice flaws faster than growth. That constant self-criticism is exhausting your spirit. Speak to yourself with more gentleness. Healing cannot grow well in an atmosphere filled with shame and inner cruelty. Show yourself mercy while restoration unfolds slowly inside you. You also need to release the pressure to prove your worth to everyone around you. You overextend yourself emotionally because part of you fears becoming unwanted or forgettable. That fear has pushed you to carry burdens that never belonged on your shoulders. Listen carefully now. Your value does not rise or fall based on how useful you are to other people. Stop abandoning your own peace trying to earn love from those who cannot fully give it. Now pause and breathe deeply with me. Let your spirit rest instead of constantly bracing for disappointment. Walk away from what keeps darkening your thoughts. Protect your inner peace carefully because emotional exhaustion has already taken enough from you. Choose environments that bring clarity and warmth back into your life instead of confusion and heaviness. Stay near me now, my child. Open your heart honestly instead of hiding behind strength you no longer have energy to maintain. Let me into the places where loneliness, fear, and disappointment have been quietly living. Your story is not ending in exhaustion. Your heart still carries the ability to heal, trust, and feel peace again. My child, there are moments when your heart feels so overwhelmed that even simple things begin to feel heavy. You wake up already carrying emotional tension before the day fully begins. Your thoughts move quickly from one concern to another, and sometimes you do not even realize how exhausted you are until you finally sit alone in silence. I see how much pressure you place on yourself. I see how often you push your own needs aside while trying to remain dependable for everyone around you. Yet beneath that strength, your spirit has been quietly asking for rest, honesty, and peace. Come sit with me now instead of rushing away from these deeper feelings again. Stop distracting yourself every time your emotions begin rising to the surface. Your soul cannot heal while constantly being ignored. You keep telling yourself to push through another day, another responsibility, another disappointment. But I want you to slow down long enough to truly listen to what your heart has been carrying. There are fears inside you that have remained unspoken for too long. There are disappointments you still revisit quietly when nobody else is around. Bring those things to me instead of burying them beneath endless activity. You also need to stop believing that your worth depends on how much you accomplish or how useful you are to other people. That belief has exhausted your spirit deeply. You overextend yourself emotionally because you fear letting others down, but in the process, you neglect your own inner peace. Listen carefully to me now. You do not need to earn love through exhaustion. You do not need to destroy your emotional health trying to prove your value. Protect your heart more carefully moving forward. Some environments are draining your peace faster than you realize. Certain conversations leave you emotionally unsettled long afterward. Certain habits numb your spirit temporarily but deepen your emptiness later. Pay attention to what leaves your soul feeling heavy. Stop inviting constant noise into places within you that desperately need stillness and healing. Now breathe deeply and stay here with me for a little while longer. Let your thoughts slow down instead of racing endlessly toward fear and pressure. Release the need to control every outcome immediately. Trust me enough to loosen your grip on what you cannot fix tonight. Your spirit has carried enough tension already. Open your heart honestly instead of hiding behind strength that is wearing you thin. Speak to me about what scares you. Speak to me about the loneliness you rarely admit. I am not asking you to perform peace while secretly breaking inside. I am asking you to let yourself rest in my presence before exhaustion steals more of your joy and tenderness. My child, as you begin releasing the burdens that have silently exhausted your spirit, do not ignore this moment I am placing before you now. There are weary hearts across the earth still wandering in darkness, waiting for words like these to reach them before hopelessness consumes their peace. Every seed you sow into this mission becomes oil for another soul's lamp, fire for another fading heart, and living water for someone crying out in secret pain. Did I not tell you, give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over? I am speaking that promise over you now. When you give through Super Thanks membership, or the PayPal link in this video description, you are not supporting a channel alone. You are helping carry my voice into places your hands may never physically reach. I see every act of obedience done in secret, and I will multiply what is released from a willing heart. This is not a random invitation. This is a divine appointment connected to the healing of many souls. Sow your seed now. Support this mission immediately, and let my word continue reaching those who are desperate to hear me before it is too late. My child, you have spent too much time believing that you must quietly carry pain without letting anyone see how deeply it affects you. Somewhere along the way, you learned how to survive disappointment by hiding your emotions beneath routines and responsibilities. People around you may think you are managing well, but I know how often your thoughts become heavy when you are finally alone. I know there are nights when your mind refuses to rest because old fears, regrets, and unanswered questions continue circling inside you. You have become emotionally tired in ways that few people fully understand. Come closer to me now and stop treating your inner struggles like something shameful that must stay hidden. Sit honestly with me. Let your soul breathe instead of tightening every time difficult emotions rise to the surface. You cannot continue living as though emotional survival is the same thing as peace. Your spirit longs for something deeper than constant distraction and temporary comfort. That longing inside you matters. Pay attention to it instead of silencing it again. You also need to stop replaying your past mistakes as though they are permanent definitions of who you are. I know there are moments you wish you could redo completely. I know you carry regret over certain choices, certain relationships, certain seasons where life felt confusing and painful. Still, your past is not your prison unless you continue building walls around yourself with shame and hopelessness. Release those old burdens now. Open your hands instead of gripping regret so tightly that it shapes your entire identity. Listen carefully to what I am telling you. Not every painful ending meant you failed. Some doors closed because they were leading you toward deeper exhaustion. Some relationships faded because they could not continue into the future your spirit truly needed. Stop blaming yourself for every loss that entered your life. You were never meant to carry that kind of endless guilt. Now slow down and stay here with me instead of rushing back into noise. Turn away from what continually poisons your peace. Protect your inner life carefully because emotional exhaustion grows quietly when your spirit never receives rest. Invite healing into the hidden places within you. Let yourself be honest about the sadness, fear, and loneliness you usually keep buried beneath strength. You are not beyond restoration, my child. Your heart is still capable of healing even after everything it has endured. Let me guide you gently back toward peace before numbness convinces you that this heaviness is all life will ever feel like. My child, there are days when your spirit feels exhausted long before your body ever becomes tired. You move through responsibilities, conversations, and routines while quietly carrying emotional weight that nobody around you fully sees. I know how often you tell yourself to stay strong even when your heart feels overwhelmed. I know there are moments when you sit alone wondering why peace seems so difficult to hold on to lately. You have spent so much time trying to manage everything outwardly that you barely notice how deeply your inner world has been affected by stress, disappointment, and emotional pressure. Come closer to me now and stop treating your exhaustion like something you simply have to endure forever. Sit quietly with me for a moment instead of reaching for another distraction. Your soul has been craving stillness more than you realize. The constant noise surrounding you has made it difficult for you to hear your own heart clearly. Every day brings more pressure, more opinions, more comparison, more fear, and your spirit has become weary from carrying all of it without proper rest. You also need to stop believing that your struggles make you weak. Some of the strongest people carry invisible battles nobody else understands. You have survived painful seasons that could have hardened your heart completely, yet there is still tenderness inside you. Protect the tenderness carefully. Do not allow disappointment to turn you emotionally cold. I know certain betrayal chained you. I know some losses still ache quietly inside your spirit. Still, your pain was never meant to become your permanent identity. Listen carefully now. Release the need to control every outcome around you. You keep exhausting yourself trying to prepare for every possible disappointment before it even arrives. Fear has convinced you that constant worry somehow protects you from pain. But all it has done is steal your peace one thought at a time. Let those fears go tonight. Open your hands and trust me with the things you cannot fix through overthinking. Turn away from what continually drains your spirit. Walk away from conversations that deepen your anxiety. Stop feeding your mind with endless negativity and comparison. Choose spaces that allow your soul to breathe again. Choose moments of silence instead of constant distraction. Your heart cannot heal while surrounded by emotional noise every hour of the day. And now remain here with me for a little while longer. Breathe slowly. Let your thoughts settle. Speak honestly instead of hiding behind forced composure. You do not need to carry every burden alone anymore. I am still here beside you, calling you back toward peace before exhaustion convinces you that numbness is all life has left to offer. My child, there is something inside you that has been quietly breaking under pressure for longer than you admit to yourself. You keep functioning because you believe you have no choice, but your spirit has been sending you signals that it cannot continue carrying this level of emotional exhaustion forever. There are moments when your heart feels disconnected from joy completely. Even things that once comforted you now feel temporary and distant. I see how often you push through sadness without truly processing it. I see how you silence your own emotions because you fear becoming overwhelmed if you let yourself feel everything honestly. Come sit with me now and stop running from your inner life. You cannot heal while constantly avoiding what your soul is trying to reveal to you. Sit quietly and listen to your heart without immediately distracting yourself. There are wounds within you that still need gentleness, honesty, and restoration. Some pain entered your life during seasons when you were already emotionally tired, and instead of healing fully, you simply learned how to carry it silently. A hidden heaviness has shaped your thinking more than you realize. You also need to stop speaking hopelessness over your future every time life becomes difficult. Disappointment has trained you to expect more pain before peace arrives. Sometimes you prepare yourself emotionally for failure before opportunities even begin. Other times you pull away from closeness because fear tells you everything meaningful eventually disappears. Listen carefully to me now. Your future is not permanently chained to your past wounds. Stop allowing fear to narrate your life. I want you to release the pressure to appear emotionally strong all the time. You do not need to hide your exhaustion from me. Bring me your uncertainty. Bring me your loneliness. Bring me the thoughts you keep buried beneath responsibilities and routines. I already see them clearly. What hurts your spirit most is not weakness itself. It is the belief that you must carry weakness alone without comfort or support. Now take a deep breath and let your mind slow down for a moment. Step away from what continually steals your peace. Stop returning to habits that numb your emotions temporarily while deepening your emptiness afterward. Protect your inner world carefully because your soul matters more than endless productivity and distraction. Stay close to me now, my child. Let me guide you gently back toward rest before emotional exhaustion hardens your heart further. You are not beyond healing. You are not too tired to begin again. Peace is still possible for you if you stop running from the deeper restoration your spirit has needed for so long. My child, there are moments when you feel emotionally trapped between exhaustion and expectation. You want peace, but your mind has become so accustomed to pressure that even rest feels difficult now. You sit quietly, yet your thoughts continue racing. You replay conversations. You revisit mistakes. You imagine future disappointments before they happen. I see how heavily this has been affecting your spirit. You carry more emotional weight than most people realize, and because you rarely speak openly about it, others assume you are stronger than you truly feel inside. Come closer to me now and stop carrying those hidden burdens alone. Sit honestly with me instead of pretending your heart is unaffected by everything it has endured. You have learned how to survive difficult seasons by becoming emotionally guarded, but those walls are exhausting you more than you know. You protect yourself from disappointment so carefully that now even peace struggles to fully reach your spirit. I do not want you living this way forever. Listen carefully to me now. Stop returning to the same thoughts that continually deepen your fear and hopelessness. Some thoughts have lived inside your mind so long that they began shaping the way you see yourself. You criticize yourself harshly. You expect failure quickly. You doubt your worth too easily. That inner heaviness did not appear overnight. It grew quietly through pain, rejection, pressure, and emotional exhaustion that remained unresolved for too long. Bring those wounded places into the light with me instead of hiding them beneath endless distraction. You also need to stop punishing yourself for not healing perfectly or quickly enough. Healing is not a performance. Your spirit cannot recover while being constantly pressured by shame and self-condemnation. Speak more gently to your own heart. Show yourself the patience you so freely offer others. You have survived seasons that stretched your emotional strength thinner than anyone realized, yet you are still here, still searching for peace, still hoping life can feel lighter again. That matters. Now breathe deeply and remain here with me instead of rushing back toward emotional noise. Turn away from what keeps draining your spirit. Walk away from habits that numb your pain temporarily while increasing your emptiness afterward. Protect your peace intentionally. Your soul desperately needs environments that restore clarity instead of confusion. Stay close to me now, my child. Let your thoughts slow down for a while. Open your heart honestly and stop carrying fear like it is your permanent responsibility. You are not too damaged to heal. You are not too exhausted to begin again. I am still calling you toward peace, even after everything your heart has endured. My child, the peace I am calling you toward is the same peace I desire to pour into countless others who still feel trapped beneath fear, shame, and emotional exhaustion. There are people scrolling through darkness right now, praying for one sign that I still see them, and I am using this message as a river of hope to reach them before they give up. Every gift you release through Super Thanks membership, with a PayPal link in the video description, becomes a seed planted into eternal ground, and the harvest will touch lives far beyond what your eyes can currently see. Remember when I said those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed? I am breathing that blessing over every willing giver now. Do not underestimate the power of your obedience in this moment, because heaven notices every hand that helps carry my word further into the world. I will cover your household with favor, strengthen what feels weak within you, and open doors no fear could permanently shut. This moment carries urgency because many souls are standing at the edge of despair, waiting for my light to reach them through vessels who choose to act. Support this mission now, so boldly, and become part of the work I am doing in this hour. My child, you have spent too much time pretending that your emotional wounds no longer affect you. You tell yourself to move forward, stay busy, remain productive, and keep functioning, but beneath all of that activity, your heart is still carrying pain that never fully healed. I see the moments when sadness quietly returns without warning. I see the way loneliness sometimes enters your thoughts even when people are around you. There are parts of your spirit that still feel unseen, unheard, and emotionally tired from carrying burdens nobody else fully understands. Come sit with me honestly now. Stop running from silence every time deeper emotions begin surfacing. Your soul has been trying to speak to you through that heaviness. Certain disappointments affected you more deeply than you admitted. Certain losses changed the way you trust life itself. You became cautious because pain taught you to protect yourself before anyone else could hurt you again. I understand why those walls formed around your heart, but those same walls are now keeping healing at a distance too. Listen carefully to what I am telling you. Stop measuring your future by the pain of your past. Not every season ahead will repeat what once wounded you. Some doors closed because they could not carry you where your spirit truly needed to go. Some relationships ended because they were draining life from your heart instead of nurturing it. Release the belief that every painful ending means you failed. You are carrying guilt that was never meant to become your identity. You also need to stop abandoning yourself emotionally just to remain accepted by others. You overextend yourself too often. You ignore your own exhaustion too quickly. You silence your needs because you fear becoming difficult, needy, or disappointing. That pattern is exhausting your spirit little by little. Rest now. Let your heart breathe instead of constantly performing strength for everyone around you. Turn away from what keeps darkening your thoughts. Protect your inner life carefully because your peace matters more than endless distraction and emotional noise. Some habits are quietly stealing your joy. Some voices continually deepen your fear and insecurity. Pay attention to what leaves your spirit feeling heavy afterward and make different choices moving forward. Now stay here with me for a little while longer. Open your heart honestly instead of hiding behind forced composure. Speak to me about what hurts. Speak to me about the fears you rarely admit out loud. I am not asking you to carry this exhaustion alone anymore. Your heart still deserves peace, healing, and rest after everything it has survived. My child, there are moments when you feel emotionally exhausted before the day even begins because your mind has been carrying too much for too long. You wake up thinking about unfinished problems and uncertain outcomes, strained relationships, and fears you rarely say aloud. Even during quiet moments, your thoughts continue moving without rest. I see how difficult it has become for you to simply feel calm inside your own spirit. You have spent so much time surviving emotionally that now peace almost feels unfamiliar, and I do not want you to continue living trapped in that constant heaviness. Come sit with me honestly now instead of pushing your feelings aside again. Stop pretending your heart is unaffected by everything it has endured. You have carried pain quietly for so long that some wounds became part of your daily thinking without you even realizing it. Certain disappointments changed how you trust people. Certain failures affected how you see yourself. There are nights when loneliness feels heavier because you do not know how to explain what is happening inside you anymore. I understand all of it. I have seen every hidden battle even during moments when nobody else noticed you were struggling. Listen carefully to what I am telling you now. Stop feeding your spirit with endless fear and emotional noise. Some voices around you are deepening your exhaustion instead of bringing clarity into your life. Certain habits are numbing your pain temporarily while quietly draining your peace afterward. Turn away from what continually darkens your thoughts. Protect your inner life more carefully because your spirit cannot heal while constantly surrounded by confusion and emotional pressure. You also need to stop carrying shame like it belongs permanently inside your future. You replay mistakes repeatedly as though punishing yourself harder will somehow repair the past. It will not. Your heart grows weary every time you speak hopelessness over your own life. Show yourself mercy instead. Healing does not grow through constant self-condemnation. It grows where honesty, patience, and grace are finally allowed to enter. Now breathe deeply and remain here with me for a little while longer. Let your thoughts settle instead of racing toward fear again. Release the pressure to control everything perfectly. Trust me enough to loosen your grip on what you cannot change tonight. Your soul has carried enough tension already. Stay close to me now, my child. Open your heart honestly instead of hiding behind forced strength. Let me restore the weary places inside you before emotional exhaustion convinces you that numbness is the only way to survive life anymore. My child, there is a loneliness inside you that does not always come from being physically alone. Sometimes it appears even while you are surrounded by people. You speak, you smile, You continue your responsibilities, yet part of you still feels emotionally unseen. I know how often you hide your deeper struggles because you fear becoming a burden to others. You became skilled at carrying pain privately. You learned how to continue functioning while your spirit quietly grew more exhausted underneath the surface. But hidden pain does not disappear simply because nobody else notices it. Come closer to me now and stop isolating your heart behind emotional walls. Sit honestly with me instead of distracting yourself again. Your soul needs more than endless survival and temporary comfort. There are wounds inside you that still need gentleness and healing. Some disappointments affected your trust deeply. Some betrayals made you cautious with your emotions. Now you hesitate before fully opening your heart because you fear being hurt again. I understand why you became guarded, but those walls are also keeping peace from reaching you fully. Listen carefully now. Stop speaking hopelessness over your future simply because your past contained painful seasons. Not every chapter ahead will repeat what once wounded you. Some endings protected your spirit from deeper harm. Some closed doors were acts of mercy even when you did not understand them at the time. Release the belief that every loss means you failed. Release the fear that tells you nothing good can last for you. Those thoughts are exhausting your spirit little by little. You also need to stop abandoning your own emotional needs while trying to remain strong for everyone else. You carry other people's burdens while neglecting your own heart. You silence your sadness because you fear appearing weak. Yet emotional honesty is not weakness. Bring your exhaustion to me instead of burying it beneath routines and responsibilities. Speak openly with me about what hurts. Speak honestly about the fears that visit your mind late at night. I am not turning away from your broken places. Now stay here with me for a while longer and let your soul breathe again. Turn away from the voices that continually increase your anxiety and insecurity. Protect your peace carefully. Choose environments that restore your spirit instead of draining it further. Let your thoughts quiet down instead of endlessly preparing for disappointment. You are not forgotten, my child. You are not invisible. Your heart still deserves rest, healing, closeness, and peace after everything it has carried in silence for so long. My child, you have spent so much time trying to stay emotionally strong for everyone around you that you barely notice how deeply your own spirit needs care now. You wake up thinking about responsibilities before your day even begins. Your mind moves immediately toward problems, unfinished tasks, financial pressure, emotional strain, and fears about what could happen next. Even during moments when your surroundings become quiet, your thoughts continue carrying tension that your heart was never meant to hold nonstop. I see how tired you are becoming beneath the surface. Come sit with me honestly now and stop pretending your exhaustion is normal. Your spirit has been warning you for a long time that something inside you needs healing. You keep distracting yourself because silence forces you to feel emotions you have tried to avoid. Yet avoiding pain has not removed it. You only buried it deeper inside your heart. Listen carefully to what I am telling you now. Stop running from your inner life. Sit quietly with me and allow yourself to feel what you have been hiding beneath routines and forced composure. You also need to stop believing every fearful thought that enters your mind. Fear has been speaking loudly to you lately. It tells you nothing will improve. It tells you your future will repeat the disappointments of your past. It tells you peace is temporary and loss is inevitable. Those thoughts are exhausting your spirit little by little. Do not keep feeding them. Turn away from voices that deepen your hopelessness. Protect your inner world more carefully because your thoughts shape the condition of your heart over time. I know there are moments when loneliness feels heavier because you do not feel fully understood by the people around you. You carry conversations inside your mind that you never speak aloud. You replay old wounds quietly, You overthink simple interactions because emotional exhaustion has made your spirit sensitive in ways few people notice. Bring those hidden fears to me instead of carrying them alone. Speak honestly with me. Tell me what hurts instead of pretending you are unaffected. Now breathe deeply and stay here with me for a while longer. Release the pressure to have every answer immediately. Let your shoulders relax. Let your thoughts slow down instead of racing endlessly toward fear and worst-case outcomes. Choose peace intentionally today. Walk away from habits that continually drain your spirit. Turn down the emotional noise surrounding your life and allow your soul room to breathe again. You are not beyond healing, my child. You are not too exhausted to be restored. Let me guide you gently back toward the peace your heart hath been searching for beneath all this heaviness. My child, as I guide your heart away from fear and back toward peace, I am also calling you to help carry this healing light to others who are silently drowning beneath emotional heaviness. There are souls wandering through sleepless nights, carrying burdens nobody else can see, and these words are becoming manna for them in seasons of deep spiritual famine. Every offering through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in this video description helps keep this river of encouragement flowing to hearts that are desperate for hope. Did I not say, a generous person will prosper? Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. I am releasing that promise over every obedient giver now. This is not merely support for content. This is participation in a spiritual harvest that heaven itself is watching closely. As you sow into this mission, I will bring increase where there has been lack, clarity where there has been confusion, and peace where fear once ruled your thoughts. Do not delay when I am stirring your spirit to act, because obedience opens doors that hesitation keeps closed. Give now, stand with this mission, and help my voice reach those who are still waiting in darkness for one final reminder that they are not alone. My child, there are wounds inside you that still affect the way you see yourself, even if you rarely speak about them anymore. Certain disappointments left deeper marks on your heart than you expected. Some betrayals made you more cautious with your emotions. Some seasons of loneliness convinced you that nobody would fully understand what you carry quietly within yourself. I know how exhausting it becomes when your spirit feels isolated even while surrounded by people. You learned how to function outwardly while inwardly carrying sadness, fear, and emotional fatigue that few others ever notice. Come closer to me now instead of retreating further into silence. Sit honestly with me, and stop hiding your heart behind emotional walls that are slowly draining your peace. Those walls were built to protect you after painful experiences, but they are also keeping healing from reaching you fully. You cannot continue living every day preparing yourself for disappointment before life even unfolds. Fear has shaped too much of your thinking already. Listen carefully to me now. Stop punishing yourself for the pain others caused you. Stop replaying rejection as though it proves something is wrong with you. Other people's inability to love you properly does not determine your value. Some people walked away because they were unable to carry the responsibility of caring for your heart correctly. Release the belief that every ending was your fault. Your spirit has carried enough guilt already. You also need to stop abandoning yourself emotionally while trying to keep everyone else comfortable. You overextend yourself too often. You ignore your own exhaustion too quickly. You silence your feelings because you fear becoming difficult or unwanted. That pattern has left your soul weary. Rest now. Breathe deeply. Allow yourself to admit how tired you truly feel instead of forcing yourself through another day pretending you are unaffected. Turn away from what continually steals your peace. Certain environments leave your spirit unsettled every time you enter them. Certain voices feed anxiety into your mind instead of clarity. Certain habits numb your pain briefly while deepening your emptiness afterward. Pay attention to what your heart feels after those moments and make different choices moving forward. Protect your peace carefully because your spirit matters more than endless distraction and emotional survival. Stay here with me now, my child. Speak honestly about the fears you usually bury beneath strength and routine. Let me into the hidden places where sadness and loneliness still linger. Your story is not ending in emotional exhaustion. Your heart still carries the ability to trust, heal, and feel peace again if you stop running from the restoration your soul has needed for so long. My child, there are moments when your heart feels tired in ways that sleep cannot fix. You continue moving through life because responsibilities demand your attention, but inwardly your spirit feels drained from carrying emotions you rarely speak about. I see how often you push yourself beyond your emotional limits while pretending everything is manageable. I see the pressure you place on yourself to stay composed, dependable, and emotionally strong even during seasons when your heart quietly aches for rest. You became so accustomed to surviving difficult days that now you barely notice how deeply exhaustion has settled inside your spirit. Come closer to me now and stop running from your inner life. Sit honestly with me instead of distracting yourself the moment difficult emotions rise to the surface. Your soul has been asking for peace for a long time. You keep searching for temporary comfort while ignoring the deeper healing your heart truly needs. Listen carefully to what I am telling you now. Stop treating emotional survival like it is the same thing as living fully. You were never created merely to endure endless stress, fear, and pressure while slowly losing your peace along the way. You also need to stop carrying old wounds into every new chapter of your life. Some disappointments changed the way you trust people. Some betrayals made you cautious with your heart. Now you often expect pain before anything meaningful even begins. That fear has shaped too much of your thinking. It keeps you emotionally guarded even in moments where healing could quietly begin. Release those fears instead of building your future around them. Your past pain does not deserve permanent authority over your spirit. I know there are nights when loneliness feels heavier because you do not feel fully understood by anyone around you. There are thoughts you keep hidden because explaining them feels exhausting. Bring those hidden burdens to me instead of carrying them silently. Speak honestly with me. Tell me where you feel weak. Tell me where disappointment still lingers inside your heart. I am not asking you to hide your struggles behind forced positivity and polished words. Now breathe slowly and remain here with me for a while longer. Let your thoughts settle instead of spiraling endlessly through fear and overthinking. Turn away from what continually steals your peace. Walk away from habits that numb your emotions temporarily while deepening your emptiness afterward. Protect your spirit carefully because emotional exhaustion grows stronger when your heart never receives proper rest. Stay close to me now, my child. Open your heart honestly instead of hiding behind strength that is wearing you down. Your soul still carries the ability to heal, rest, and feel peace again if you stop running from the restoration waiting for you here with me. My child, there is a part of you that has become deeply tired of pretending everything is fine when inwardly you feel overwhelmed. You smile during conversations while carrying worries that nobody else fully sees. You continue handling responsibilities while quietly wondering how much longer your spirit can keep functioning beneath this level of emotional pressure. I know how often your thoughts become heavy late at night when distractions fade and silence finally exposes what has been sitting inside your heart all along. Come sit with me honestly now instead of burying those emotions beneath another busy day. Stop avoiding the deeper places within yourself that still need healing. You cannot continue numbing your spirit with endless distraction while expecting peace to grow naturally. Your soul longs for honesty, rest, and closeness more than you realize. Listen carefully to me now. Stop ignoring the warning signs your spirit has been sending you. Emotional exhaustion does not disappear simply because you force yourself to keep moving. You also need to stop measuring your worth through productivity and performance. You became so focused on staying useful to everyone else that you neglected your own emotional well-being along the way. Some of your exhaustion comes from carrying expectations that were never meant to define your identity. You overthink mistakes. You blame yourself too quickly. You push your heart harder every time you feel like you are falling behind. That pressure hath been draining your peace little by little. I want you to release that burden tonight. Breathe deeply and let your shoulders relax for a moment. Stop carrying tomorrow before it arrives. Stop replaying old disappointments as though they permanently define your future. Some painful endings entered your life because they could not follow you where your spirit truly needed to go. Not every closed door was punishment. Some were protection, even when you did not understand it at the time. Now pay attention to what continually leaves your soul feeling heavy. Certain voices deepen your anxiety. Certain habits increase your emptiness afterward. Certain environments cloud your spirit instead of restoring it. Turn away from what keeps stealing your peace. Protect your inner life carefully because your heart matters more than endless emotional survival. Stay here with me now, my child. Speak honestly instead of hiding behind forced strength and emotional distance. Let me into the hidden places where fear, sadness, and loneliness still linger. You are not too exhausted to heal. You are not too far from peace. Your spirit still remembers what it feels like to rest, and I am calling you back toward that place now. My child, there are moments when your spirit feels overwhelmed by things you cannot fully explain to anyone around you. You carry responsibilities, expectations, fears, and disappointments quietly while continuing to move through life as though everything is manageable. I see how tired your heart has become from holding so much inside. You have learned how to survive emotionally without ever truly resting, and now even peace feels unfamiliar because your mind has spent too long preparing for stress instead of healing. Come closer to me now and stop pushing your feelings deeper every time they rise to the surface. Sit honestly with me instead of reaching for another distraction. Your soul has been trying to get your attention through the heaviness you feel. There are wounds within you that still need care. Some pain entered your life during seasons when you already felt emotionally weak, and instead of healing properly, you simply learned how to carry it silently. That hidden exhaustion now follows you into quiet moments, conversations, relationships, and even your thoughts about the future. Listen carefully to me now. Stop allowing fear to shape the way you see your life. Fear has convinced you that peace never lasts. Fear has taught you to expect disappointment before joy even has the chance to arrive. Sometimes you pull away emotionally because part of you assumes loss is inevitable. Other times you overthink every situation because your spirit is trying desperately to protect itself from more pain. I understand why your heart became cautious, but I do not want fear controlling your future any longer. You also need to stop carrying emotional burdens that no longer belong to you. Some guilt should have been released long ago. Some shame continues living inside your thoughts even though it no longer serves any purpose except draining your peace. Open your hands now instead of gripping regret so tightly. You cannot heal while constantly condemning yourself for moments that already passed. Now breathe slowly and remain here with me for a little while longer. Turn away from the voices that continually deepen your anxiety. Step back from habits that leave your spirit emptier afterward. Protect your inner life carefully because your heart matters more than endless emotional survival. Choose spaces that allow your soul to rest instead of constantly bracing for another storm. Stay close to me now, my child. Speak honestly with me about the fears you usually hide beneath routines and forced strength. Let me into the places where sadness and exhaustion still linger. You are not too broken to heal. You are not too far from peace. Your spirit still longs for restoration, and I am still calling you toward it now. My child, as I call you away from fear and toward restoration, understand that countless others are still trapped in silent battles, longing for even one moment of light to break through their darkness. I am using messages like these as burning lamps in a world growing colder and more weary by the day. Every seed you sow through Super Thanks membership, where the PayPal link in the video description, becomes part of a greater harvest of healing, reaching hearts you may never meet this side of eternity. Have I not declared, those who sow in tears shall reap with songs of joy? I am watching every sacrifice made with love, and I will not forget the hands that help carry my word forward. This is more than generosity. It is spiritual obedience during a critical hour when many souls are standing one step away from hopelessness. I will bless the giver with renewed strength, unexpected provision, and protection over what concerns them, because heaven honors those who pour into my work faithfully. The time for hesitation is over, my child. Act now. Sow into this mission immediately, and help keep this fire of hope burning for those still searching for me in the middle of their pain. My child, you have spent so much time carrying emotional pain quietly that sometimes even you forget how heavy your heart has become. You continue handling responsibilities and showing up for people while inwardly feeling exhausted in ways words barely capture. I know there are moments when you feel emotionally disconnected from life itself. Things that once brought comfort now feel temporary. Conversations feel shallow. Distractions only work for a little while before the emptiness quietly returns again. Your spirit has been trying to tell you that something deeper needs healing. Come sit with me honestly now instead of hiding behind another busy day. Stop avoiding silence every time difficult thoughts begin rising within you. Silence feels uncomfortable because it exposes what your soul has been carrying underneath all the noise. Yet your healing cannot continue while you constantly run from those deeper places. Listen carefully to me now. Your heart was never created to live permanently overwhelmed, emotionally guarded, and spiritually exhausted. You also need to stop treating yourself with such hardness. You replay failures too often. You criticize yourself too quickly. You hold yourself responsible for things beyond your control while giving grace to everyone except yourself. That constant inner pressure is draining your spirit little by little. Speak more gently to your own heart. Show yourself patience while healing unfolds. Restoration takes time, honesty, and rest. It cannot grow well inside endless shame and self-condemnation. I know there are nights when fear becomes louder than peace inside your thoughts. You wonder whether life will always feel this heavy. You question whether joy and emotional safety are still possible for you after everything your heart has survived. Bring those fears to me instead of carrying them alone. Speak openly with me about the loneliness you rarely admit out loud. I am not asking you to hide behind polished faith while secretly falling apart inside. Now take a deep breath and stay here with me for a while longer. Turn away from what continually steals your peace. Walk away from environments that leave your spirit unsettled. Stop feeding your mind with endless comparison, fear, and emotional noise. Protect your inner world carefully because your soul desperately needs rest. You are not forgotten, my child. You are not beyond healing simply because you became tired along the way. Let your heart soften again instead of becoming emotionally numb from disappointment. I am still here beside you, calling you gently back toward peace, restoration, and the deeper healing your spirit has needed for so long. My child, there are days when your thoughts feel heavier than your body can carry. You continue moving through responsibilities because life demands your attention, but inwardly your spirit feels exhausted from fighting battles nobody else fully sees. I know how often you force yourself to stay composed even while your heart quietly struggles beneath the surface. You have become so accustomed to carrying emotional pressure that now you barely recognize how deeply it has affected your peace. Even moments of silence feel difficult because your mind immediately returns to fear, regret, disappointment, or uncertainty about the future. Come sit with me honestly now instead of reaching for another distraction. Your soul has been asking for rest longer than you realize. Stop silencing your inner life every time difficult emotions begin surfacing. You cannot continue healing while constantly avoiding what your heart still needs to process. Some wounds inside you were never given proper space to heal. Instead, you learned how to function around the pain while quietly carrying it everywhere you went. That hidden heaviness now affects the way you think, the way you trust, and the way you see yourself. Listen carefully to me now. Stop treating fear like a permanent companion. Fear has been shaping too many of your decisions lately. It tells you to expect disappointment before hope even arrives. It tells you to protect yourself emotionally before anyone gets close enough to hurt you. It tells you that peace is fragile and temporary. I need you to stop feeding those thoughts. Your spirit grows weary every time fear becomes louder than truth inside your mind. You also need to release the pressure to carry everyone else while neglecting your own heart. You give so much emotional energy to people around you while quietly feeling empty yourself. That pattern is draining your spirit little by little. Rest now. Breathe deeply. Allow yourself to admit how tired you truly feel instead of pretending you can keep carrying everything indefinitely. Turn away from what continually steals your peace. Certain habits deepen your emptiness afterward. Certain voices increase your anxiety. Certain environments cloud your spirit every time you enter them. Protect your inner life carefully because your soul matters more than endless distraction and emotional survival. Stay here with me now, my child. Open your heart honestly instead of hiding behind forced strength. Speak to me about what hurts. Speak to me about the fears you rarely admit aloud. You are not too exhausted to heal. You are not too far from restoration. Let me guide your weary spirit back toward the peace it hath been searching for beneath all this emotional noise. My child, you have spent so much time carrying invisible burdens that now even your quiet moments feel emotionally heavy. There are thoughts you never fully expressed because you assume nobody would truly understand them. You smile through conversations while inwardly feeling tired, restless, and disconnected from the peace your heart longs for. I know how often you replay old disappointments in your mind. I know there are nights when loneliness feels louder because your spirit is exhausted from pretending everything is fine when it clearly is not. Come closer to me now and stop hiding behind emotional distance. Sit honestly with me for a while. Your soul cannot continue surviving on temporary comfort and endless distraction. You keep searching for relief in places that only numb your emotions for a short time before emptiness quietly returns again. Listen carefully to me now. Stop ignoring the deeper hunger within your spirit. That hunger is not weakness. It is your heart asking for healing, closeness, and peace that cannot be found through constant noise and emotional escape. You also need to stop believing that your past failures permanently define your future. Some mistakes still haunt your thoughts because you never fully released the shame connected to them. You punish yourself repeatedly for moments I already wanted to heal within you. Let those burdens go now. Open your hands instead of gripping regret so tightly that it shapes the way you see yourself every day. Your spirit cannot rest while constantly living beneath self-condemnation. I know disappointment changed your trust. I know certain betrayals wounded you deeply. Some experiences taught you to guard your heart so carefully that now even love and peace struggle to enter fully. Yet I do not want you living trapped behind emotional walls forever. Those walls may feel safe, but they are also isolating your spirit from the healing it desperately needs. Lower them slowly. Let yourself breathe again. Now pay attention to what continually steals life from your soul. Certain voices feed insecurity into your thoughts. Certain habits deepen your emotional exhaustion. Certain environments leave your spirit unsettled every time you leave them. Turn away from those things intentionally. Protect your peace carefully because your heart matters more than endless survival and emotional numbness. Stay here with me now, my child. Speak honestly instead of hiding behind routines and forced composure. Let me into the places where sadness, fear, and loneliness still linger quietly inside you. You are not forgotten. You are not beyond restoration. Your heart still carries the ability to heal, trust, rest, and feel peace again if you stop running from the deeper healing waiting for you here with me. My child, you have reached a moment in your life where your soul can no longer keep pretending that endless emotional survival is enough. Deep inside, you already know something must change. You feel it during quiet moments when distractions fade away and your thoughts finally slow down enough for your heart to speak honestly. You have carried exhaustion, disappointment, fear, and loneliness for so long that part of you became accustomed to living without true peace. Yet even now, beneath all the heaviness, your spirit is still longing for restoration. That longing matters more than you realize. Come sit with me now and stop running from the deeper truth inside you. Stop silencing your heart every time it tries to tell you what needs healing. You already know which habits are draining your spirit. You already recognize which voices continually deepen your anxiety and confusion. You feel the difference between what brings life into your soul and what leaves you emotionally empty afterward. Listen carefully to that awareness instead of ignoring it again. Your heart has been warning you quietly for a long time. I know how tired you are. I know there were nights when you felt emotionally overwhelmed and nobody around you fully understood what was happening inside you. I know there were moments when you questioned whether things would ever feel peaceful again. Still, you are here. Your spirit is still searching. Your heart is still capable of healing even after everything it has endured. Do not give up on yourself now. Do not let exhaustion convince you that numbness is the only way forward. Release the pressure to carry every burden alone. Stop punishing yourself for mistakes that no longer belong to your future. Stop preparing for disappointment before joy even has the chance to enter your life. Open your heart instead of protecting old pain like it is safer than healing. Trust me enough to loosen your grip on fear, shame, and endless overthinking. Those things have stolen enough peace from you already. Now breathe deeply and stay here with me for a little while longer. Let your thoughts settle. Let your spirit rest. Turn away from what continually darkens your inner world. Walk toward the things that restore clarity, peace, honesty, and life within your soul. Protect your heart carefully moving forward because your spirit deserves more than constant emotional exhaustion. Stay close to me now, my child. Speak honestly with me each day instead of hiding behind routines and distractions. Let me guide you gently through the healing you have postponed for too long. You are not forgotten. You are not too damaged to begin again. This is not the end of your story. Peace is still calling your name, and I am still waiting for you to come closer and finally receive it. My child, now that your spirit has heard my call toward healing and peace, do not keep this light to yourself while so many others remain lost in emotional darkness. There are broken hearts, weary minds, and desperate souls searching for one final sign that I have not abandoned them. And I am sending these messages as living water into dry and weary places. Every act of giving through super thanks, membership, where the PayPal link in the video description becomes a seed of revival that helps my voice continue reaching those standing at the edge of hopelessness. Did I not promise whoever sows generously will also reap generously? Receive that word as my living promise over your life today. I will multiply what is surrendered in faith, Surround your path with favor, and breathe fresh peace into the places where fear once ruled your heart. This is not just another opportunity to support. It is a divine moment of partnership with what heaven is urgently doing in this hour. Do not scroll away from this calling while your spirit is being stirred to act. Sow your seed now, support this mission boldly, and help carry my word to the rare few who still need to hear my voice before their season changes forever. Before you leave this message behind, I want you to respond with faith instead of silence. If you feel in your spirit that this was your warning, your invitation, and your moment to stop drifting emotionally, then write these words in the comments: I am ready to come closer. Do not ignore what your heart is feeling right now. Some people will hear this and walk away unchanged, but you were brought here for a reason. Let this be the moment you stop surviving in silence and finally step toward the peace your soul has been crying out for. Amen.